afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President. We have our special guest speaker as well, Amanda Montalvan. She is our impaired risk in-house specialist. So her job and duties every single day, 9 to 6:30, Monday to Friday, are to focus and work on your declined, rated up, or impaired risk cases. That is all she does. So if you ever need a little extra help, if you don't know where to place a certain client, maybe if you work with one of our competitors, okay, which obviously is fine with us, and we hope you work with us as much as possible, but we understand that you do have other contracts, and that's okay with us. But if you do have a case that is declined, or maybe came in at a table 6 standard table rating, and the marketer at the competing office told you it was going to be standard, give us a call, okay? And the reason why we have outlets and contracts to certain companies that are not widely available to our competitors. The other thing is we have all of the reinsurance manuals in-house, okay? So by the time it takes them to shop a case and wait for an underwriting answer to check the reinsurance manuals and see how it comes back, that could be weeks. And if there's a certain underwriter at a certain carrier that's a little lazy or oversees your case, which happens all the time, and there's no follow-up, then you're never going to get an answer back, or it just won't be accurate. So the point is, take advantage of our impaired risk department if you had any tough-to-place cases, and you will have that concierge-type service that you need and you deserve, simply. So utilize us for that. You can also call any one of our marketers. We can help you as well. And then, of course, if we need to get Amanda involved, we can. So we have a very short form application that we put together. We have a real neat process that we're going to share with you on just a few more slides here that kind of gives you the overview and how this whole thing works. So we're very excited about this. Years and years ago, when I first got into the business, in fact, I started at 22 years old, and I just turned 40, so that was almost 18 years ago. And I remember they had certain impaired risk companies like U.S. Financial, there was Cotton State, a few others, and they were set up just for impaired risk cases, okay? They would pay typically half the commission, but they would take cases that the traditional carriers just wouldn't even look at. But the issue is those companies lost a lot of money, okay, because of reinsurance and actuarial tables that weren't accurate, or whatever the case was. So here we are today, fast forward, say, 15, 20 years, and there are no true impaired risk carriers. So it's our job, out of our 50-plus companies, to dissect each underwriting department and find out which niche or what makes them stand apart. So that's what makes us unique, okay? We have done all the homework for you. I'm going to go over just a few bullets, and you should write these down, okay? We're also going to email all of the slides that we're going over after today's presentation, but I think some of these are so important, and the reason why is if there's another agent speaking to your clients, okay, that gives them a certain premium rate or class, and you come in at 20% less or half the premium, obviously you're going to win the case. Or even just as important, if you have your own case that was rated up for some of these underwriting impairments, you now know, give us a call back and we can shop it with these other niche carriers. I'll give you just a few examples here. Oh, last thing I'll mention, this also should open doors for new markets that you want to tap into. And I'll give you just a quick example so your mind can work kind of as we proceed with the presentation. So example, marijuana users, okay, we have a company that will give you standard non-tobacco rates. Now, if I was an agent, especially in California or Colorado, I'm going to go market my product to marijuana users, obviously, which I know it's legal there, I think, with prescription. But the point is, you want to tap into these markets because you will look like a superhero and gain tons of business because you have this niche product and company that most of your competitors don't have access to. So just I'll name a few, but I just want to make sure that we're all thinking on the same page as we proceed. Cigarette users can get non-smoker rates, okay? That is huge. That's a big, big plus. Basically, what they're saying is to the client, hey, we'll give you standard non-tobacco, but you have to promise to quit smoking, and you have to prove that to us in a couple of years. If you do, you keep your non-smoker rate. If you don't, your non-smoker rate goes into tobacco rates. But again, that's going to help you win a case. Marijuana users, okay, very simple. You get standard non-tobacco with a competitive product. So it's not, they're not just giving you some crazy overly priced product just because they can call it standard non-smoker. These are very competitive. Also, a huge niche right now with technology the way it is in the underwriting side, up to $1 million of competitive term UL non-med, that's simplified issue, no exam needed, issued in less than 3 days. Again, that's huge. Keep that in mind, up to $1 million, simplified issue, term, UL. We even have living benefit riders built in, very competitive products, issued within 3 days, no exam required. Disability income, huge. Get up to $13,000 of a monthly benefit, all issued non-med, no exam within a week. Another big plus, especially what happened with the mortgage and real estate industry a few years back. We had a lot of families that went bankrupt, okay? They still need insurance. They still have children that depend on them. Well, guess what? Now, even if your client went bankrupt a month ago, 3 months ago, we can get standard non-tobacco, no waiting, okay? A friend of mine on the bottom here, that's why I wanted to pull up this case study here. On the bottom, it says defibrillator implants, okay? This is a personal friend of mine who's in his early 50s, no complications, but the truth of the matter is he does have a defibrillator in his chest. Well, guess what? We can now get standard plus a table rating. We can get an approval on a typical company with a competitive term product. So that's huge. In the past, that was guaranteed issue only. So again, I hope your mind is spinning here with different marketing ideas and possible new clients, but give us a call and we'll help you run these a little deeper. Okay, so moving forward here, Joe's going to talk about our upcoming training events. We're going to talk about our upcoming Agent Expo, which I better see everybody on this call attend. It's just in 2 weeks in sunny South Florida. Joe's going to take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So before we get started with some of the underwriting niches and impaired risk, things we're going to cover, I want to talk about some upcoming training events. Of course, everybody can register for all these right from the CarrieLevinson.com website. That website has just been relaunched and revamped. There's actually a great training calendar which shows you all the upcoming webinars for about 3 to 4 months out. So a couple great things to notice here. Monday, which is the 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're actually going over a really, really great and important sales webinar on selling to young professionals. These are people that are out of college, have gotten their first job, really earning a lot of great income. We're going to talk about kind of the way to approach those clients, the way that their sales should be approached for different products, and really what products you should be recommending for those young professionals. Tuesday, which is the 29th at noon, we're going over slam dunk annuity sales ideas with March Madness here. It's fitting to go over these type of sales contests. That's actually headed by our annuity division, which is headed up by Josh Hoffman. He is at extension 23. So any annuity sales questions, give Josh a call. He is probably one of the most knowledgeable people that I know in the annuity industry. On Wednesday, which is the 30th at noon, we're going over a great underwriting program from Sagicor Life called their Accelerating Platform. It's basically a way to get clients on the phone, conference an underwriter, and get an approval while you're on the phone. So a great niche for those type of simplified issue products. Like Bill mentioned, on the right-hand side of the screen, we've got the 9th actual annual expo, which is April 8th. That's a Friday, just 2 weeks from today. This is a day full of sales ideas. You're going to learn a lot of great information on what's going on in the industry. You're going to hear from our top carrier VPs, some of the top underwriters in the industry. It's really a day where you'll be able to walk away and say, wow, that was very informative. You'll have some great tips and hints on how to get new clients, how to prospect for new people, even as early as that afternoon. So it's free for all agents to attend. If you haven't registered, you can do that right from our main website, or just give us a call or shoot us an email after the webinar, and you can speak to anyone in the office and we'll get you registered. That is going to be a great day. Again, we provide breakfast and lunch and prizes throughout the day for all agents that attend.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I'm going to talk about a few new contests here at Levinson, and then we're going to introduce Amanda. So with that said, everybody by now should have heard about our Levinson co-op E&O policy. The reason why this is so important for you to have and take advantage of is because, A, the annual premium is $395, which is literally 20% to 70% of what a typical E&O policy costs. And most important, this covers you and your sales with not just A- rated or better carriers, but B+ or rated carriers. Okay, B+ rated or better carriers, you are protected with the Levinson E&O policy. So especially in the annuity world, where most of those more competitive products come from the B-rated companies, well, now you will have coverage with our E&O policy for less than what you were paying before. And again, use this as a hook. If you know any agents, why not refer them over to us? We will put them in your hierarchy, and you can sit back and make 5, 10, 15, 20% override simply for an introduction. Okay, so use these things. Okay, moving forward, the Levinson Annuity Division. We just announced a new contest for this year, and I'll just talk about a few bullets here, and then we will proceed. So Josh Hoffman runs our annuity division, and take advantage of his knowledge. He is a COU, CHFC. He used to work in the MetLife home office and the competition unit. His job was to look at other annuity products and see what they need to be competitive to the fields. Okay, so now he is working in our office in the brokerage side, and he heads up the annuity department. Utilize Josh. Take advantage. He knows all or most of the tax questions, rollover information. Okay, he can help you gain more sales. The brand new contest is called Kick Assets, starting at just $100,000 of premium. We give you $400 cash, or we pay for your E&O policy for the year, totally up to you. The next bracket, $250,000. We give you $500 cash or free leads. We handle all the mailer programs for you. We have a turnkey system that goes along with our lead package. We don't charge you for any of this. At $500,000, we give you $1,000 cash or Las Vegas vacation or 3-day cruise. Goes all the way to the bottom bracket there at $1,500 cash, a technology package, or 4-day cruise. This is all available on our website, or just call us. Even if you've never written an annuity before, that's okay. We are here to help you. There's no reason to turn that business over to your friend or neighbor and give up the commissions, because these products are being sold just not by you. Okay, so there's no reason to write your first annuity, handle it in-house, get full commission, and you'll see how easy it really is. Okay, moving forward here, we put together a special contest just for our impaired risk cases. So if you're on this call now and you write your first impaired risk policy, once it goes placed, we send you a iPad mini 16 gig. These are the brand new ones. They are awesome. Okay, we're giving you 30 days to write your first impaired risk case with us, and we will send you a free iPad mini 16 gig as long as you qualify and the case goes in force. So take advantage. Okay, so moving into today's presentation, I want to introduce Amanda Montalvan, who runs our impaired risk case unit. It is her job to go out, shop, find the carriers that are willing to bite on your impaired risk clients and turn those declines into $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 commission policies. It happens, and she's going to show you a few great examples. Amanda?
Thanks, Bill. I just want to take a couple minutes and show you all how our impaired risk division here at Levinson and Associates is unique in the industry. A lot of our competition will say that they're shopping out your impaired risk cases, but what they're simply doing is sending out a quick quote summary to various carriers for a quick look and a tentative approval. The way that we at Levinson decided to work this is very unique in our approach to these cases. We found that most of these cases are rather larger, far more complex, that do need that extra hand-holding and concierge type of touch in order to place a successful case. So the way that this process works is the first step would be for you to submit a signed and completed trial application, which is available directly on our website, into our division for initial review. You and I will discuss the case and will then determine if it is a viable case in order to proceed. At that point, we will actually begin to work this case backwards by actually ordering the full medical file of your client, including their primary care physician and any specialist records that may be pertinent to this case. Once all the records are in-house and received, we will then review them personally before sending them out to any carriers to look at. This allows us to pin them up against the reinsurance manual so we kind of have an idea of what type of rating we can expect without even involving any carriers. So once that is done, we then send out the full informal file, including all medical records, any exams that you may have that are current and up to date for the client, to about 15 different carriers for an informal review. So the carriers will go ahead and review all of the medical information submitted just as they would on a formal application. However, there are a couple of things that will later on be pulled once the case has gone formal, and they will then evaluate this and send our office various tentative offers. Once we receive these offers, and it takes about 7 to 10 business days in order to get all those in, we will then evaluate all of them, reach out to any underwriters if there's any questions we have to firm up the offers, because our job is to provide you with the most firmed up and complete offer prior to going formal. And at that point, we'll go ahead and price out the case and determine which carrier is going to be best suited for that particular case. And once you and I discuss our findings, and if you find that that is an acceptable offer, all you'll need to do is submit a formal application to our office, which at that point the majority of the work is done, and it will really speed up the formal underwriting process with the home offices. The next slide, I'm just going to touch on a couple of very recent case studies that we've had that were actually shopped successfully and placed through the Impaired Risk Department. This first one was a rather large $12 million case needed for key man coverage. The agent had no knowledge of our Impaired Risk Division, so he actually submitted the case formally to 2 different carriers without knowing the full detail of his client's medical history. At the point that the Impaired Risk Division got involved, we had received a tobacco rating as well as a moderately rated non-tobacco rating, which was well over the client's budget for that coverage. Our division then got involved, and we took the case, shopped it out informally, and upon receiving the offers, we had recommended that the client actually go in for some additional testing, which he was happy to do so. And with the completion of that testing, we were actually able to have one of the carriers come in from a table 3 all the way down to a standard non-tobacco. And at that point, the agent was able to submit a new business application with an annual premium of over $40,000. This next case is rather unique, as the medical history is very rare for somebody to have encountered. This was a 31-year-old male who needed $2 million of coverage to protect his young family, and he had a heart attack at the age of 25. Over the years, he had been told time and time again that nobody was willing to offer him coverage due to the heart attack. We then proceeded and built the file, and out of all the carriers that we were shopping to, we were able to secure a Table 4 rating, which the insured was thrilled about. So that agent went back, looked like a hero, and was able to open the door to additional sales for the other family members. This last case was another one where the agent had no knowledge of our impaired risk division and actually submitted the case through another IMO, where they received a postponed due to an abnormal echocardiogram. And sometimes the whole key to being successful in this division is just going the extra step for the client and the agent. And we found upon review of the medical file that the original carrier had just not gone that extra mile to obtain an additional piece of testing that would have nullified the previous abnormal echocardiogram. So by doing so and going that extra mile, we were able to secure a standard non-tobacco rating, which is actually an improvement from a Table 2 offer that we were replacing, and the agent had recently placed that case with an annual premium of over $55,000.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Amanda. And let me just say one thing that I think is so important here. Most of these cases, okay, wound up at a dead end, okay? We couldn't do anything. The premium was too expensive for that client to take the policy. So by us doing that extra legwork and Amanda going above and beyond, we turned these around and made obviously the client happy, the agent happy, so it's a win-win situation for her just going the extra step and you picking up the phone to give us the information. And that's it. It's that simple. Okay, so remember how I said earlier, there's no true impaired risk carriers left. I don't care what email blast or what magazine article you read or you see, I promise you there is no true impaired risk company today. It just is not out there unless it's a guaranteed issue company with a graded death benefit, but that is it. So, like I said, it's our job to go out and find these certain niches. And I just want to touch on a few of these. If you want to jot them down, that's fine, because if you're successful in this business, there is going to come a time where you need these programs. First one is Lincoln Financial. They have one of the only table shave programs for their permanent life insurance. They will simply take a table 1, 2, or 3 and give you standard non-tobacco, saving more than half the premium on occasion. So that is huge. So any permanent policy, if you get an approval with a 1, 2, or 3 rating, give us a call. We'll help you place this at a standard non-tobacco. Also Principal, very similar situation with the table shave. They also shave flat extras, okay, up to age 70, big plus there. And non-med simplified issue up to $1 million of term and UL. And the reason why I'm getting so excited, because this was only a dream like 5, 7, 10 years ago. The only simplified issue or non-med was maybe $100,000, $250 if we were lucky. Now to get competitive term and UL, simplified issue up to $1 million of face is huge. Okay, so jot that down. Principal and Lincoln. Mutual of Omaha has the only table credit program available for term coverage. So what that means, let's say, for example, your client is 10 pounds over the weight limit for standard, and everything else is great. Maybe they're very athletic and they play sports and they exercise 5, 6 days a week. They will actually give you credit to make that client get a standard non-tobacco, even though he or she is over that weight chart, okay? Very important. They'll also give marijuana users standard non-tobacco, big, big plus. On the bottom there, AIG just rolled out their table shave program on all UL products, plus our conversion shave program. What that means, if you have a term with a table 2, they will literally convert you to a permanent policy at a standard non-tobacco rate. Again, big plus from AIG. Real important there, especially if you have existing AIG term cases. Also, let me give you one other sales idea that's not on here. Genworth. We're all aware of what's going on with Genworth. Now, if you've written any Genworth term policies, now is the time. Go visit with those clients. Run a new quote with our other 48 companies. See who comes up good. And your story is the truth that Genworth no longer markets life products, and you want to put them with an A-rated or better carrier that obviously is going to be around for a while, and they'll be marketing life insurance products today and in the near future. Great story to tell, great way to open new doors. Okay, moving forward here, guaranteed issue carriers. Now, we all have those clients who don't even have a chance at a table shave program or table 6, 7, or 8. So in that case, we always have the last alternative, and that's guaranteed issue outlet. Okay, and I like to call this, and just picture this in your mind, you will never have a situation, you will never come across a client that you will not be able to get them a policy for, okay? It's never going to happen with all of our carriers that we offer. And the reason why is because exactly what you're looking at in front of you. On the top there, Great Western, ages 40 to 80, we have a level and graded death benefit option. That is huge, okay? Guaranteed issue, no questions asked. And if they can answer the 3 questions no, then they give you an immediate death benefit and a 20% additional death benefit added on if you can answer 3 questions no. On the bottom there, Gerber Life up to $25,000, straight guaranteed issue. Kemper right below that, and they also advance commissions if you qualify, up to $25,000, straight guaranteed issue. United Home Life up to $10,000, straight guaranteed issue. We can combine these or write them with a single policy, totally up to you. The main point I'm trying to stress here is we never have a client that we come across that we don't have a policy for. So you'll always walk away with something. Joe, let's move forward here.
Yep, thanks, Bill. So I'm going to touch on a couple underwriting niches, some other great things to know and kind of have in your back pocket. Of course, our team here at the office will always use these different underwriting niches to help in any way that we can. But one great thing I want to talk about on the top here is Mutual of Omaha. They have what's called their fit test. So it's available with any fully underwritten product that they have for term and UL. Basically, it's a way to get a case that has a couple table ratings on it to actually shave those tables off. So just by answering what they call their fit test, that client can actually shave up to 2 different table credits off of that policy. So we always use this in our underwriting and our risk assessment, but definitely something to take a look at. We will be emailing that form out this afternoon when you receive the email with today's recording. On the bottom of the screen, this is huge. John Hancock has a program called the Quit Smoking Incentive. Basically, it allows you to get your clients who smoke cigarettes, even if it's on a daily basis, a non-smoker rate. So we can use this on their permanent products. It's a great way, especially if you've written clients in the past with a smoker rate. It's a great way to go back to those clients and say, hey, I know you're paying higher rates because you're a smoker on that universal life policy, or even if your client goes in as a non-smoker and they come back with a smoker rate, you can go right to John Hancock. We can use that same exam. The way it works is the client will get non-smoker rates for the first 3 years. Then John Hancock's going to go back to that client and basically see if they're still using those tobacco products. If they are, their rate gets updated to a tobacco rate. If not, they get to keep their non-smoker rate. So just another great way, especially if you're in competition with another agent or agency, you can use that quit smoking incentive to really have a leg up on the competition and win the case. So a lot of times, as you know, those non-smoker rates can be about half of what those smoker rates are. So definitely something to keep in your back pocket. Also, I'll move on here to some of our impaired risk disability plans. A lot of times clients think that they can't get disability insurance, or an agent will say, well, I'd love to get my client a DI policy, but they just don't qualify with a medical condition. So there's a couple products here we can use to really provide that solution in those scenarios. The first of which is with Assurity Life. They have a graded benefit DI product. What's so great about this plan is they can apply for the regular DI product, which is immediate coverage. But let's say that they have some medical issues and they don't get approved for that, they'll actually offer them this graded DI benefit. Now, the way it works, you can actually apply up to $11,000 of maximum monthly income, all the way up to age 60 for issue ages, which is great. If the client becomes disabled in the first year, they're actually going to receive 35% of that non-graded death benefit. If they become disabled in the second year, they get 70% of that maximum monthly income. And as long as they make it to the third policy year and thereafter, they're going to get full benefits from that point moving forward. So a great way to provide DI coverage, which I think is essential to a lot of financial plans for clients, even if they have some medical issues. If you need more coverage than that $11,000 a month, we have another great product that we have limited access to, almost on a proprietary basis, but this actually allows for clients with severe medical impairments that really wouldn't be able to get DI coverage anywhere else. We can offer up to $15,000 of monthly benefit. They can actually get up to $13,000 of a monthly benefit with no exam or no blood work. The great thing about this product is, like Bill mentioned earlier, you're not really sacrificing a lot of product-specific or product details or features just by going with a company or a product that might have an ability to accept clients with more of a medical impairment. So you're still going to be able to get the normal elimination periods. You're still going to be able to get level premiums, even own occupation riders. So those are some great products for that DI marketplace that really you can use to even beat the competition. My next slide here is on impaired risk for critical illness. A lot of times clients will apply for a critical illness policy and expect that lump sum should they have a heart attack or cancer or stroke. And some carriers are very strict with the underwriting process. We've seen Mutual of Omaha be very, very competitive, even up to $250,000 of a critical illness benefit. You'll notice in their underwriting criteria, besides having a standard rate, they'll actually give you up to a class 3 or 3 tables, even substandard rates up to 100% for that CI product. So just because someone's declined elsewhere doesn't mean we can't go to Mutual of Omaha for that CI policy. So definitely a great way to provide an additional added value to all of your clients. Up next here, I'm going to actually dive into some of our impaired risk resources. You'll find all of these right on CarrieLevinson.com. What I've done is I've actually circled some areas underneath the Underwriting tab. You'll be able to go right to the website after we're done on the call today and access every single one of these sections. The first is underneath underwriting. I've actually circled in red the impaired risk division. So this is where we have a lot of great training on the impaired risk department. We also have impairment forms. These are really, really helpful in the field. There's actually about over 100 of them. You'll see them on the bottom portion of the screen. And then what I've done is I've pulled 2 of those impairment forms and kind of shown a little screenshot on the right-hand side. So I pulled up build and also one for atrial fibrillation. The way that these forms are used, if you're in the field and you're talking to a client and you uncover a medical impairment or a couple comorbidities that that client has, you can actually pull these forms and it will ask you very specific information that you're going to need to gather from that client to be able to come back to our office or even talk with an underwriter, especially if you want to reach out to Amanda after you've gotten this information. She'll be able to look at it. She'll have all the information that she needs to actually put together a very, very strong case and let you know exactly which company to go to. So definitely use those resources. Also, Amanda went through how we use the impaired risk division to shop cases. I wanted to highlight underneath that underwriting tab, that same section, the trial applications that are available. So you can go right to that section. We also have a very, very neat form, which is the underwriting questionnaire. So if you're out in the field, you're talking to a client about what coverage is right for them, you're not really sure what medical issues they might have, you can go right to that underwriting questionnaire and it'll walk you through the questions that you need to be asking of that client to make sure you cover all of your bases. And we will include that in today's email as well. In addition, underneath that underwriting tab, as I move to the right here, we've got a great updated section on foreign nationals. So whether the clients are U.S. citizens or non-residents or foreign nationals, even if they're traveling overseas, we just had a case earlier this week where the client was actually a U.S. citizen. He was a teacher living in Thailand and he married someone from Thailand and he wasn't planning on coming back because he had established a family there. He was working full time, so we were able to even get coverage on that particular client who had no plans to come back to the U.S. So a lot of great resources here. We even have access to an international underwriter, international carrier, so we can write people that have no plans to come back to the U.S. and even don't even have any assets in the U.S. So a really neat place to actually go and get some more resources. Also, underneath that same underwriting tab, as I move further to the right, we have underwriting applications. So if you find out your client's a scuba diver or like to skydive or parachute or anything out of the norm, even maybe they race cars, all those questionnaires are also available on that same section of the website, right at your fingertips. So again, you can go to kerrylevinson.com and access those. And Bill's going to talk to us a little bit more about the Xray platform, which is, in my opinion, one of the best software programs available in the industry.
Yeah, this is real neat because there's going to be a time where it's a Saturday or Sunday afternoon or late at night or early in the morning, and we're not here. And let's say maybe your neighbor needs a life insurance policy, but he or she is 150 pounds over the limit for, let's say, standard non-tobacco, okay? And you don't know what company, what health class, what premium to write that client, or if you should even take an application or you're wasting your time. So Xray allows you to go in and put in as little information or as much information that you want to share about their health, okay? And the system will automatically tell you every single piece of information that you need so you can take the application. So you don't have to wait for us to come in Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Now, the neat part is, let's say there's medical records involved, or let's say it becomes a little complex where maybe there was a cancer situation with surgery and they're on, 7 different medications. You can enter in all of the client information, okay, and Xray will gather all the info, package it, and send it to us and every single underwriter that we work with. So then we get a tentative offer, okay, based on the information we give them within 3 to 4 business days. So that allows you to shop your client with every one of our cases within a few days. So there's no waiting around, there's no guesstimating. Everything is done in black and white. As soon as we get a firm answer, we take that offer, we staple it to the application package, and send it off. And 9 out of 10 times, they stand behind the offer unless there's a surprise. So even if it's just a height and weight issue or it becomes real complex, Xray is a great tool that everyone has free access to. It's all available on kerrylevinson.com, but you really need to know your way in and around Xray. If you need some hand-holding, we're here to help you, of course. So Evaluate does pretty much the same thing. What I like about Evaluate, it's going to be single sign-on from our website. So as soon as you log in, you'll have access to all of your cases in the Evaluate tool. But what's neat is they also give you flat extras, table ratings. So it's almost like an Xray on steroids. Okay, so this is going to be available and launched at our expo in just a couple of weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for the Evaluate underwriting tool. Once again, we at Levinson are taking things a bit further than our competition because I'm sure you've never heard of this new technology that's just rolling out as we speak. Also, our brand new mobile app. Okay, we are working on this as we speak, hopefully launched by our expo so we can go over it. It's going to be all of the important bullets that you get from our website, but available on your smartphone or tablet. And what's so neat is, so like I was saying, on a Sunday afternoon, you go write your neighbor, let's say, a policy. You can literally take your iPhone, you can pull up Xray, you can run a quote, you can pull up an e-application and get everything submitted before we even get in the office Monday morning, all from any iPhone or smartphone device, okay? It's all free download from the iTunes Store or the Google Android App Store, so there's no charge for this. Once again, keeping you one step ahead of your competition. This is the future, so you need to have your arms around the basics, and like I always say, we're here to help you. Please do not hesitate to call. Now, I'm going to end with this, and you know, I'm a big believer in motivation, and I love Mark Cuban. I think he's got a great business sense, great salesperson. And I'm also going to say, too, before I close out today's call, I just want to wish everyone a good Friday and a great Easter weekend if you celebrate. Also, to those who don't, just have a wonderful weekend as well, great selling. And I'll end with this last pitch from Mark. I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't fail a lot. The good, the bad, it's all part of the success equation. Okay, that tells us a lot. If you fall, it's okay. Get up, learn what you did wrong, and keep moving forward. Now, we're here to help you so you don't fall in those pitfalls, okay? So you can keep walking straight with your head up. So lean on us for advice, suggestions, basically anything you need to help get your foot in the door and share your story. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Good selling. Take care.